Hey, everybody, welcome back. Today, I'm going to speak about love and fear. I'm going to speak about my recent experiences at Totality Festival and going there with my wife and daughter. It was my daughter Coral's first ever festival. She's 2.5 years old. And it was a really joyful experience to be able to be in the type of environment that I really love and thrive in, and also to be able to share that with her and see how she reacted to it all. So it was there's a lot of intensity. It's a big change in environment for her and for us. And so there was a lot of new experiences, new sensations, and definitely some challenges with having a 2.5-year-old at a festival. Along with that were some tremendous blessings, beautiful connections, and really a transformational experience. There's something about these festivals, especially ones that are geared towards this specific type of art and music, that really have a way of changing your perspective, changing your vibrational set point, and bringing you into a totally different mind state from the one that you arrived with. So, as many of you know, my wife and I and our daughter live here in Los Angeles, in Santa Monica. So, we're kind of surrounded by people and cars and concrete and just this kind of like really heavy, intense, crowded energy. Lots of noise pollution, light pollution, radiation, really some challenging vibrations that are pretty much surrounding us at all times. And for the most part, our one solace, our one place of refuge is the ocean. So we go out and get into that water, into the cleansing water, go surfing, go swimming, spend time at the beach. I like to think about the beach in particular as a perfect elemental confluence, because it is where the earth meets the water, but also it tends to be where the fire and the air meet the earth and the water. The sun is shining, the wind is blowing, the tide is coming in and out, and the sands are doing what they do, which is holding it down, earth style. So I think that's one of the reasons why people love to be at the beach, is just experiencing this elemental balance that is so basic and fundamental to our nature. Because what I believe, what I know to be true, is that we are nature. The quality of nature is abundance. And since we are nature, since the quality of nature is abundance, your nature is abundance. And I've been thinking about this a lot recently, because there seem to be some tremendous and powerful forces in the world that are seeking to almost, it seems, destroy the spirit of humanity. And I know that sounds like a pretty extreme thing to be happening, but it's the conclusion that I've come to after really wanting to deny it for a very long time, and sort of ignoring red flags and evidence and so on and so forth. And I don't think there's necessarily a tremendous amount of people who are intentionally conspiring to make this happen. However, I do believe that there are a tremendous amount of people who are going along with this nefarious agenda out of fear or greed or some other low vibrational emotion that is causing them to feel as though they need to take control or take power over other people, take away people's sovereignty, take away people's ability to choose what they do, both with in their work and even in their homes and with their bodies. There's just this really shocking land grab of basic human rights going on right now in the world. And yeah, it is shocking, it's terrifying, and it's something that if we continue to ignore or pretend like it's okay, pretend like it's all for our own greater good, for our safety, it is going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. It's already gone to it, as I said, like a pretty terrifying level where we're seeing some nation states that I would have considered to be very friendly, very liberal, very open-minded, freedom-loving places basically turn into complete totalitarian nightmare states. We have the police essentially taking over, taking control, and locking people in their homes, preventing them from going outside, preventing them from living their lives. And this is all in the wake of a virus that, to this point, with all the evidence that we have, does not spread outside. Outdoor spread is not an issue. And however, we're still, for whatever reason, proceeding forward with these draconian policies of literally imprisoning people in their own homes at the threat of violence. And it is not quite that bad in America yet, and I hope that it will not be. Although we're talking about some things that are very serious, very terrifying government steps of governmental overreach, moving towards what seems pretty clearly to be a medical apartheid. And I know people think that's a pretty hyperbolic term in a sense, and even the idea of these health passports was considered to be a far right conspiracy theory fairly recently, and step by step that is becoming the accepted reality. People are going along with it and even encouraging it because they have been constantly put in this paradigm of fear by governments and by media outlets and by various other extremely powerful forces in the world, who seem to be motivated for some reason to keep the people afraid, to keep the people divided against one another, to keep them weak and to keep them out of their rational minds. It feels like this moment of mass psychosis where normal intelligent people are pushing for things that are pretty much patently insane, if you ask me. And fundamental liberties are being taken away, again, not based on scientific fact or reason, but based on this fear-based paradigm, based on propaganda and constant terror porn that is being pushed by these powerful forces. So I don't want to obsess over that. I don't want to just keep harping on it over and over and over again. I think it's just really important to be aware of what's actually happening here. I'm not denying the existence of a dangerous virus. It is hurting people. It is killing people. It is very contagious. However, that does not justify the complete totalitarian takeover of surveillance states and global government. These are two very separate things. You can deal with a virus without giving away all of your freedoms willy-nilly, like that's going to save you. One of my favorite quotes I've heard recently was from Zuby Music, which is, "You cannot comply your way out of tyranny." So I hope that y'all remember that, and just keep giving more and more, expecting that once it's all better, we'll get all that stuff back, because that's a pipe dream. So my point is, again, not to harp on this, but to get into the idea of, in every moment we have this option. which is that we are allowed to choose between fear and love. It's a fundamental choice that we get to make in every moment and every day. And it's a choice of lowering our vibration or raising our vibration. It's a choice of this diminished awareness, ruminating, focusing on something that is bothering you, that you don't like, that makes you feel scared, or an expanded state of awareness, focusing on more of the love and the beauty and the joy that can exist in this world. So, in my opinion, one of the most important things is that we do not forget that this is our nature, that we have this tremendous, infinite capacity to love and to take care of ourselves and to take care of each other. And those that would seek to divide us against one another are our enemies. They are people who are doing so with nefarious intentions, and they do not have your best interests at heart. I would say also be suspicious, be very suspicious of anybody who is trying to control you or control other people and force them to do something maybe against your will, because those people also do not have your best interests at heart. So we have that choice, fear or love. We have that choice in every moment and every day. May your days be filled with love and abundance. You are infinitely loved and taken care of forever. You have nothing to fear. So I want to get into that, the experience of the festival, because it was such a massively contrasting experience to the one that we're having in Los Angeles on a day-to-day basis, which is very fear-based, very standoffish, very almost inhuman the way that we're treating each other right now. And that's what I think is kind of at the root of this. Some of this stuff is these measures are literally taking away people's humanity. And in my opinion, there is no justification for doing that. There is a better way. And so we need to stop putting up with this bullshit. We need to stop suffocating each other, especially suffocating our children. The idea that we're against all available evidence, forcing children to stay home from school, to cover their faces, to block their airways, and not engage in the most important period of development in their whole lives, is terrifying, and it really says something scary and weird about our society that we're allowing this to proceed based on this fear paradigm. So let your children breathe. Let the people breathe. Many other ways to protect yourself besides this madness. So none of that was at the festival. We were outside, objectively safe in many different ways, and it was just so healing and so beautiful to be in an environment of people who are expressing beauty and love and artwork and sincere, authentic connection with each other. People who are walking around with their hearts open, ready to help their neighbors out, ready to be of service to their community. Being in this energy was so transformative, so healing, because it was like remembering, it was like coming back home, right? Like, we are social creatures, and we are meant to live in environments where we have constant connection, not to have barriers up constantly between us, not to treat each other as though any one of us could potentially be diseased or probably is diseased. It's not natural. It's anti-human, and it's not based in a scientific reality either. Again, there's ways to fight this health circumstance that do not involve sacrificing all of our fundamental liberties. So I learned a lot at this festival. I had some tremendous and beautiful connections with many wonderful people, and it was so healing for me. I also spent some more time exploring my new painting style, which I'm going to share with you now. And this is all about all about being able to playfully express myself in these festival environments or live painting environments where I don't have a ton of time to make a painting or to go into like endless fine detail or geometric detail. But rather I have this intention of playfully, quickly creating a beautiful composition that is an expression of the environment that I'm in, the people that are around me, and the music that's playing, and the totality of this experience. So again, this festival was called Totality. It was a beautiful circular experience in many different ways. One of which was that I started my painting soon after I got there, the first night on Friday, and Sunday night stayed up all night to the sunrise for the closing ceremony, which I think was at 7 a.m. and just finished the painting at 7 a.m. right before the closing ceremony happened. So it was certainly this full circle experience, and this is really part of my intention of this style is like show up and start the painting and finish the painting and have it be an expression of the experience of that time and place. So here we go. This one's a little bit big. It's going to be kind of hard to show you guys the whole thing through this YouTube video format, but I will be sharing it on my other social media soon so you can see the full picture. I'm going to kind of zoom down. So this piece is called Red Skywalker. Red Skywalker. And I'm going to show it to you again on larger scale on my other socials. It's a little hard to see with this viewpoint, but Red Skywalker is a name that I got from this guy who gave me a Mayan calendar reading. Really into astrology, but I haven't looked much into the Mayan astrology, so it was great to have that reading. Thank you, Gentle Bear and Sasha. I'd recommend getting the Dream Spell Calendar app and looking up your Mayan calendar, your Mayan astrological reading, because it's really interesting. I found the content of it to be very accurate. It was spot on. And so my main signature is the blue lunar night. But one of the side ones, the antipode, is called Red Skywalker. And I thought that was a really good expression of what this painting is about. Really descriptive name. And it's very much about bringing the light out of the darkness. I started with a completely black canvas, a little bit of white on the bottom, and wanted to kind of gently but also intensely and playfully bring out the light onto this darkness of canvas. And doing so, bringing that energy forth with the fires of transformation and rebirth. Very much the Phoenix energy is taking place right now. I think one of the things we're seeing on the micro and the macro scale is these systems and structures of abuse and of exploitation are burning down in a sense. They're having this final gasp of grasping for the power and the control that they've cultivated over generations, really. And in a sense, it's a violent revolution. It's a transformation that it's not going to go easily. It's not going to go without blood, and there already has been blood. And it feels very much like the Phoenix energy, the fiery transformation and rebirth, in that some of what we have, or much of what we have, actually needs to be destroyed, to be burned down, in order for a new way to grow up from that fertile soil that comes after the fire. And I'm certainly not calling for intentional violence or arson in any type of way, but more so speaking about this in a metaphorical sense, because it does feel like that phoenix rising moment, living in a time of such widespread deception, such widespread fear and confusion and exploitation, and all of these things. A system that is built on that type of energy cannot last forever. It will fall. And in my opinion, I'm not again pushing for violence or any type of literal revolution in a sense, but more of a revolution of mind, right? We have to come to understand our true nature. And our true nature is that we are infinite spirit, infinite awareness, occupying a temporary human form. This things was around for eons before it came to occupy or animate this specific form or that specific form that you are walking within, and it will stay around for eons after. So understanding that our true nature is that infinite spirit, infinite awareness, and also understanding that with that we are creator beings. We are literally creating our own realities with our thoughts and our words and our actions. We are literally creating our own realities with our thoughts and our words and our actions. We are creator beings. When they say you are created in the image and likeness of God, it is not because God looks like a man or a woman necessarily, but because we have that same creative power of great spirit, infinite intelligence. Now, the scale may be smaller. It clearly is smaller, but the aptitudes and the abilities are transferable. So what I'm saying here really is that we have the power to create whatever it is that we desire. And so, in my opinion, we need to stop creating this this anti-human, anti-love, anti-health, whatever you want to call it, whatever this agenda is right now that is tearing apart the world and pulling people away from each other, pitting people against each other, and allowing these terrifying policies to be enacted. We need to stop manifesting this. Stop choosing this or allowing this to be created by others. Stop giving into it. Stop pretending like this is normal or acceptable or okay in any way, because it's not. This is serious, folks. Just to laugh at a crazy person. Trying to stay light with this, and just another thing I really find to be amusing is George Carlin when he talks about living in America. He says that when you're a human being living on the world, you got a ticket to the freak show. And if you live in America, you got a front row seat. So sit back and enjoy the show, everybody. I love you. Seriously. Project that love outwards from the center, from your heart, outwards, and use your hands, your eyes, your brain, your thoughts and your words and your actions to radiate that positive energy of love forever. That's your job. For this incarnation and the next one and the next one and the next. So thank you for doing that work. Peace, everybody.